Excuse me, is this the reading room?
Yes, I'm Saad Manzoor.
And I'm Travis Howard.
This is Reading Room Talk, live from Howard. We have guest panelists today. How are you guys? Our guest panelists have all just matched into radiology virtually. It's amazing. We're very excited for you guys. Yes. Super excited for you guys. But since you're on our show, we have to ask you our standard questions. Please give us your name and then tell us what your toughest class or rotation in medical school has been so far.
Sure. My name is Kathleen. My toughest rotation was surgery.
Yes, common answer.
Familiar.
Yes. And next we have...
So, hey everyone, my name is George. My toughest class, I don't think it was a rotation. I think it was actually learning neuroanatomy. It's one of the hardest things for me. Yeah,
It's not easy. It's we've heard that answer before.
Yeah.
Definitely. And next,
My name's Julius.
toughest class or rotation.
Sorry for the pause. I would have to agree with Kathleen. Surgery, just because of the sheer hours.
Yeah. There's no substitute. The hours are the hours.
Grueling.
Yeah, it is. It's just
Before dawn,
yes.
home at night.
Yeah.
No sunlight.
And like we talked about before, I think you think you're going to be in the OR a lot. You're not in the OR. You're doing notes. You're like supporting the people who are in the OR, unfortunately. But that's why you choose radiology.
And you made it. Yes. It's like the culmination of everything. I mean, how do you guys feel?
Yes. How do you guys feel after making it through a virtual interview season?
Relieved
Yeah.
and just really grateful. Yeah.
So what would you tell someone who had not been through this process before, now that you just finished it?
Just for virtual interviews?
Just for everything, like I think virtual interviews, like how to prepare for virtual interviews, how to like pick programs. I think it's all different than the way we probably did it. So
Yeah, it's really different. It's I think maybe the best thing you do for virtual interviews is just turn the camera on, record yourself answering like just really common questions. I think that helped me a lot.
Rehearse.
Yeah.
Rehearse,
That's-
exactly.
oh, that definitely makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. And did you guys have like a special room in your in your home or like a desk area that you guys set up to like do the interviews?
Yeah, I personally just use my living room, but I would, make sure to clear everything, all the background, kind of fluff out the way before each interview. I guess I didn't have a specific room.
Yeah. Would you say the same thing, I guess, or?
Yeah, I had a nook also in like my living room kitchen area. So there was nothing behind me except my plant, which is
Nice.
a great talking piece, by the way.
Yes.
But everything else, it was very plain, very standard, white wall with my plant. And
Nice. Now, was that advice that you guys got, or did you just kind of come up with this as you guys were like interviewing?
I would say it was recommended to keep it plain, but if you had something that you wanted to talk about behind you, to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just got the plant a year ago, and I'm very proud of how large it is. So.
And it's still alive, exactly.
Yeah.
That's really good.
So you got it. You have the advice to make sure that you rehearse. Is there anything else that you guys can think of, a recommendation that you might have for those that are going through the process?
I would say to kind of like reflect on like yourself and kind of just like who you are. I know it sounds it's easier said than done, but like really like knowing like who you are and I guess why you're interested in radiology, like that really helped for the virtual interviewing process.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now, like, I guess, did you guys have a strategy as far as like number of programs to apply to? Because I feel like, when you applied, probably like since it was like in person, people like would cancel interviews, and I don't know if people were canceling like virtual interviews this time around.
I don't think it happens quite that same way, just because like the advice I got was like over apply because
Yeah.
last year's cycle is virtual too, and programs are interviewing a lot more people.
Yeah.
They're just kind of applying more broadly too.
Mhm.
So to kind of keep up with like all those rising numbers, you kind of pretty much have to do the same thing. You also
Yeah.
apply more broadly.
Yeah.
Show up to
Yeah.
cheaper too.
It is cheaper, yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, I think people back in the day would, like, not go to interviews because they didn't want to, like, pay for, like, plane ticket, hotel, like, the time. Yeah, you couldn't. Yeah, that's exactly right. So, oh, that makes sense. Did you guys basically just applied all over, each of you, or did you guys kind of focus on a specific region?
I applied all over. Yeah, I didn't, because I didn't have to pay for tickets and hotels, I applied widely and everywhere across the nation.
Yeah.
I remember after interviewing having a sense of a program that I would maybe belong at, or that get a good vibe from the interviewers. Can you talk to me about how you navigated that, and how after the interview, how did you come up with your rank list?
I feel like, I don't know, at least for me, it felt like there were like very few programs that kind of gave off like bad vibes post-interview. But I feel like with regards to like making my rank list, I wanted to be in, I guess, a city, like a mid-sized city or like a metropolitan city. So those kind of, came up. And also, if it was a mid-sized city and a metropolitan city and closer to family, that came up even more.
And your family's from where?
They currently live in Cincinnati.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Ohio's deep. Oh, that's so good. That's really good. And your family's from there?
From Florida, but
Oh, okay.
applied mostly up and down the East Coast, kind of
Okay.
places where I had some type of connection to.
Okay.
Whether it's like I have like some extended family or friends there, so some type of support network, I figured.
Yeah. Which is important. We've talked about, like, it's a tough process, and you do want to be around people who will, support you and make you feel like you can do it. So, and your family's from this area, or?
Yes,
Okay.
Silver Spring.
Gotcha. And you're going to be going all the way to the West Coast.
Yes, I am. West, I went up north and west as far as I could. So.
No, congratulations. You're going to be Grey's Anatomy out there, though, so it's going to be fun.
I'm excited.
It's going to be very fun, very fun. What other questions did we have?
Oh, I do have a comment about getting a feel for the program. I will say I was surprised that for some of them, the residents and the faculty's love for their program and each other, some were very palpable, even over Zoom. And the night, or maybe a night or two before the interview day, they would have a pre-interview Zoom social where we could spend time with the residents. And some of them were just so fun and very excellent. And I felt like I got a chance to really understand the culture of the program.
That's
great.
nice.
And I think that's key, and I really had some level of empathy, because it's like, that's everything to me when you go to a program and you're able to get a vibe for the people.
Yeah.
But you were able to do that, and I think that speaks a lot to the program. They had that opportunity. I don't know that every program had that opportunity to do a pre-Zoom like social, or even afterwards if you had an opportunity to meet with them. But I think those are good things to ask for or look into when you're going through the process.
Makes sense. I mean, that was our concern for you guys applying, was this, like, how are you going to get a feel of, like, how a program is. But yeah, I mean, it's just time. The more time you can spend in, like, a meeting or Zoom meeting, or, like, during the interviews talking to people and just getting to know them, it's going to give you a good vibe on, like, how it is. So no, that's great.
I don't want to let you down, but I will say match day was probably the best day ever. Yeah. You might think it's when you get your job, or you might think it's when you get
No.
your paycheck, but I'm telling you, man, match day for me was like,
Yeah.
it was such a great feeling. And so again, I can't.
What was your match day? Where, like, did they give you a letter and you opened it, or, like, how did they do it?
Opened and, my wife was there at the time.
Yeah.
It was just like a huge celebration for us and for all the people that you love, and it's just like, nothing matches it.
Yeah. No, that makes
Nothing
sense.
matches match day.
No, it really doesn't. No, the match day's for you. So what did you guys do for match? Like, how was the match day week for you guys? And you guys got the email earlier in the week, and then, yeah.
Lots of waiting around just for, to figure out something that's already been decided.
Yeah.
That caused a lot of strife for me.
Yeah, no, that's true, because, like, people already know where you're going to be, and you're like, I got to see what happens, so that's true. Yeah, but either way, you got to celebrate it. Gotta celebrate it. So
Celebration too.
that's good. Now, what did you guys do here at Howard for match day? Like, what was the day like?
We had our long white coat ceremony that same day.
Oh,
So
okay.
we got our like long white coats. We all walk out. We
Mhm.
we get our envelopes that have where we're going, and then everyone takes pictures and kind of has a chance to open that envelope.
Now, do you? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say we get to choose when we want to open the
Oh, okay.
envelope.
Okay. I was
Yeah.
gonna say, do they make you open it?
Yeah, in
So-
front of everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. And you guys did it. So congratulations. That's amazing. Now, are you guys gonna be doing your internship at the same place that you're gonna be doing your residency?
No, I'm staying local, so
Okay.
I have 1 year in DC, so I'll be close to my family this
Okay.
year.
Perfect. And about yourself?
Yeah, same thing. 1 year in Florida, closer to my family a little bit. Like a 2-hour drive away.
That's not bad. Okay.
Coming back up here.
Nice. And same thing?
Me 3. I'm going to Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky.
Nice.
Not too far from home.
Well, Louisville, Kentucky holds a special place in a lot of radiologists' hearts because that's where we. It's not good, but basically that's where we did our oral board examinations. So back in the day, we had to like go to Louisville, stay at like some random hotel, and then basically go to another hotel and walk through these people's rooms. You'd like walk into all the doctors' rooms. They'd have like pictures up, and they would ask you questions about these like images. You'd have like 10 or 12 cases. So Ken and Asante, no, it's garbage. No, it's not good.
IR too, okay?
You do. Anyways, just go see the Muhammad Ali museum. Don't go find that hotel. That'd be my advice. What else? Oh, I think remember Pat Watkins. He told us the next time she goes to Louisville, it's just gonna be for the horses. So, yeah, exactly. Nice. Now, congratulations, you guys. Now, did you guys have like a certain, I guess, strategy when it came to applying for the internships, or was it just kind of random as well, like as far as like matching that up with your radiology residencies?
Oh, I knew I wanted to be local and
Okay.
stay close to my family. For
Either
my
way.
intern year. Yeah.
Okay,
So that's
okay.
how I prioritized everything. in this
Gotcha.
area.
Okay. How about yourself?
Yeah, for me, I applied to places that were like in the same cities as other places I was applying. I figured it would be cool to pair them.
Yeah.
But kind of as the process went on, I was like, oh, maybe I could spend a year close to home, and then
Right.
or like 5 years of tougher radiology residency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Because I applied to both transitional and internal medicine, ranking the transitionals higher.
Okay.
So you
Okay.
get to see a little bit more scope during intern year.
Mhm.
Than after.
Gotcha. And similar.
Yeah, mine was similar. I pretty much applied to places where I had family or where I'd been before for like undergrad or summer programs.
Gotcha. Okay, that's good. That makes sense because I think that's a very confusing process. So, and even for like, so you're doing SIR, right? You're doing you're doing IR basically, right?
Yeah, I got an integrated IR position. So
Yeah, that's
it ends up being
big.
3 years of DR, then 2 years of IR.
Yeah, congratulations. Though. That's huge.
Competitive.
It's very competitive,
It is, yeah.
and that's good. I mean, there's nothing more you can ask for. You got a spot. So.
Yeah, thank you. And 1 year less of training compared to what it was before. So maybe I should have said that one. Oops.
See how you looked at me when you said
Yeah, he
that?
did. Yeah,
brought it up
that's right.
earlier, so I was like,
Yeah, please get paychecks sooner.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, that's so funny.
maybe I shouldn't have said it. But
So how do you feel Howard prepared you best for the match in radiology?
Oh, I would say biggest thing, we have the best mentor. And in terms of just sitting down with us and going through the entire process, going over our personal statements, our entire application, practice interviews. Yeah.
Just interviewed us on our life and kind of just like helped us craft our whole application based off of, that talk.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful. Who are we talking about?
Dr. Bonnie Davis.
Wow.
Dr.
Shout out to
Bonnie Davis. Big shout out Dr. Bonnie Davis. Absolutely. Oh, that's so good.
Angel, yeah.
That's great.
It is.
And then, she, having that support, having someone to help guide you through that, that's the impact of that is just wonderful. So she helped prepare you for everything.
and that's how it is just in life, as you know. You know, just having a good mentor for each step is so important because you know, even if, you know, she didn't go through a virtual process, but at least she knows like what to expect, and you know, it's still an interview. You know, it's still like going through a whole process and basically exposing yourself to the world basically to like get a spot. So it's really nice that you guys are able to have that here, and you know, some schools don't have it. They do not have it. Yeah, 6 out of 6. Yeah, that's great. That's right. That's right. That's right. Now, we'll open up. Do you guys have any questions in the audience as far as radiology or for the panelists here?
I do have one question. So what did you guys prioritize when you were looking at, places for residency? Was it like location? Was it patient load? Was it like support that people said that they got from, the administration? Like, what was the thing that really was like, this is where I'm going to go?
So I'll just take a minute to repeat the question in case it wasn't heard. It was, what did you prioritize for your matchless? I think to sum it up. So yeah.
I think for me, it was location. I wanted to be like relatively closer to where my family is in Cincinnati, and also by like gut feeling, just how I felt leaving the interview, just about the whole interview day. Maybe if we had like a pre-interview Zoom. So I just took all that into account, and yeah, kind of made my rank list that way.
Makes sense. Yeah. Same thing, would you say, or?
Yeah, location is definitely a big one. I think one of the other big ones is I wanted to be in like a large hospital, that had a lot of cases, because I figured I wanted to see, to be a good like IR, TR also, I see like a really good variety of cases from kind of like all over. So that one was like pretty big for me. Vibe was also one. Like there was one program that like their interview day was just very sloppy and kind of all over the place. They immediately bottom of the list, even though they had like a great reputation and they
Yeah.
had a lot of other stuff going for them. But I was like, yeah, that was a red flag for me.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense because they're supposed to be putting their time into like finding these new residents, and you don't, that could be a sign, later on. So that's good that you're able to like recognize that. So, same thing.
I would say I prioritized like excellent educators, like strong leaders in the field. Also, strong mentorships. So during the interview day and also the pre-interview, like getting to see like those connections and seeing, if I can have strong mentors. And lastly, I would say is I prioritize like a safe learning environment, like someplace where I wouldn't be afraid to like make a mistake, and I would know that these people would just have my back and understand that I'm learning. And I would say I prioritized those three things.
That's very insightful. That's great.
Yeah, that's major because you gotta go make some errors, like you have to. That's how you're gonna learn.
Being comfortable to do that.
Exactly.
Degree, I think, is
Oh no, absolutely, absolutely, and yeah, being comfortable, just testing your boundaries, in the education process. So that's major. So that's great. Any other questions at all? Yes.
So I'm considering an away rotation at an institution that I actually want to go to, but that would be like in the March timeframe.
Mm-hmm.
Should I prioritize that over doing an away rotation sooner, like around that October, November timeframe, so that I can at least have something to talk about on interviews, right? Like I can tell them that
Gotcha. So the question is when to do an away rotation at an institution that you're interested in. And then you're saying like you might want to do it in March of your third year? Oh, March of your fourth year. Gotcha. So this would be around the same time that they're like doing the match? As opposed to doing it in November before. Gotcha. So what would you guys say? Mm-hmm. Oh, I see. Gotcha. That's tough. What'd you guys say?
I would say if you're doing the rotation to get an interview, because most places that you do an away rotation will like give you an interview. If you're gonna do it in March, it's kind of late, 'cause yeah, like you said, by then match day is already happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it might be more valuable to do it at like maybe like a next tier hospital that's sooner, like earlier in the year.
Mm-hmm.
It'll benefit you, I think, during the interview process. You can also talk about it. You can say like, oh, I saw like these cool cases, even if it wasn't at like that institution that you're interviewing with. It's really good kind of fodder for interview.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'd agree with that. You don't know, you never know who knows who, right?
Mhm.
You go on your away rotation, and you're stellar as you're going to be, and you impress folks. People. It's a small world in radiology, so yeah. Not only is it good fun for an interview, I think it's a great networking opportunity and a way to get out there and get your name known.
Yeah, I agree. I think, 'cause, I mean, you guys certified your list when? Early March. And if you're going to be doing the rotation after all the lists are like been certified, like it's not so helpful, So it's probably better to like, this would be one of the situations where, you would try to pull some strings and just see if you can get into a rotation earlier, like in November, hope, like October, November, just to, just see, even if it's like for like a week, just to be like, hey, can I just come out there for a week just to show you how much interest I have? Because I think doing it later on is probably not going to be so helpful for you. And if you need to do it, I'll probably do it, like you said, in a different place that you'd also be interested in. And, it's a small radiology world, and especially if you're doing IR, these people are going to know each other. And you get like a nice letter from like wherever you do your rotation at, that can help you at a different institution, because everyone knows everybody for the most part, So, but it's a good question though, because it's confusing, because it's like, you're telling me I can't do the rotation until March, but that's when that's where we have to certify our lists. It's like, what are you saying? So it's confusing. So it's a good question to ask, because it doesn't make sense. Any other questions at all? Dr. Dixon.
Based on your expectation of what your career in radiology will be, what is a characteristic or personality trait that you have that you think will be perfect for your career as a radiologist?
Yes. Dr. Dixon's a pro.
And for those that didn't hear him in the back, from the back, he said, I think to sum it up, what personality trait do you think that you have that will benefit you as a radiologist?
Mm-hmm.
I think for me personally, discipline. That was something that I tried to like really, I don't know, own in on like second year, third year. I tried to be disciplined about the number of questions I was doing per day and completing all my questions by, I don't know, test time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that's the one trait that will help me in radiology.
That translates, because discipline is like you open up a case and you want to have like a search pattern for every case that you open. So like discipline is very important, because like you'll open up a case and then there'll be like something huge on one side, but you do want to stay disciplined and be able to get through all of your images and make sure that you see everything you need to see, because you're responsible for everything. So that's great. How about yourself?
I think maybe loving to learn, in that radiology is this like ever expanding field with like so many disciplines built into it, and you got to know something about every organ system, and you have to like keep up with it like in your career. For on the interventional side, there's always like new procedures. It's like crazy
Yeah.
R&D that's always happening. So I think kind of having that personality like in you will kind of carry you.
Absolutely. That's because that comes back down to like the culture that you're at. Like if you're at a program that has a nice culture, then you'll be okay to like learn and like make mistakes and just be okay like knowing this is a process and having like a growth mentality when it comes to like making a mistake. Like if you make a mistake, it's okay. You just don't want to make the same mistake over and over, and you want to be able to learn from your mistakes. So that's great. It's a great answer.
And I venture to say, if you think that you'll be a radiologist and you don't want to learn and you just want to work, you're going to be a bad radiologist.
Yeah.
pretty soon.
That's right.
It won't take long before you're dating.
No.
So I think, you hit something on the head there.
No, that's exactly right. I agree. What would you say?
I would say flexible. And an example of that right now, I always thought that I wanted to stay local and close to my family for residency.
Yeah.
But when I applied, I just, had no rules and applied
Yeah.
everywhere. And now I feel like I'm going to a place where I'm really going to thrive. So I feel like if I just remain flexible and continuing to learn about myself and the places where I'm going to thrive, I hope that'll take me far in my career.
No, it definitely will. It definitely will. Because like if you kind of constrain yourself to being in one location to like get the best education, that's not going to happen. Like the best way to get the best education is to travel all over, So you were at Cincinnati for med school, you went to Mayo for residency, you went to Brigham for IR, MGH for IR. I did residency at George Washington, and then I did med school in Cleveland. I went to UCLA for like fellowship, and it's just nice to like just have a nice breadth of like this is how things are in different places, and it gives you a lot of like perspective too on like people practice radiology in different ways. You can learn from good radiologists and from bad radiologists. So it's just good to just see everything from everywhere and just know that it's normal. Like it's all within normal limits. Like just being able to just have that perspective.
And wherever you land, you'll have an appreciation for where you are, and
Mhm.
It'll help push you through those difficult times, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's true. I agree. That's great. It's a great answer. Any other questions from our audience here? Sure.
So this question, the previous question was about traits. What about any skills that you can kind of cultivate or develop at this point in our careers to like, not going into either radiology or IR? What skills do you think would be good to develop or cultivate?
The question is, what skills to cultivate now in order to become a good radiologist? What would you guys say?
You guys, right? Is that for us?
You first.
Okay. I have no problem with that. So you repeated the question. The question is what skills to cultivate. I would say time management is important. Being able to prioritize what's important and being okay with knowing that you can't get to everything that you want to in medicine,
Yeah.
in life.
Yeah.
But being able to grapple with that and be calm and have some sense of peace with that. So time management mixed with I guess some persistence, that's helpful. That's helpful because the work. We have a lot of patients to see, a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
But, and you want to get it done like yesterday, but
Mhm.
being able to be at peace with chipping away at it each day and doing your best, I think that's going to take you far.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think we've talked about this before. I think like just like having empathy in general, I think in life is like very good. Having empathy for like the people that you're working with, having empathy for the patients, having empathy for, everyone like that you interact with. Because in radiology, you are going to be interacting with like technologists, you're going to be interacting with like other doctors, you're going to be interacting with a lot of people, and they may not treat you the best, and you may get into like difficult situations. But just having that empathy and just realizing that like, they're not mad at you, or like, you're not the issue. Like you're just trying to help them. We're trying to help each other. And that'll kind of help you keep like a level head when it comes to like, you're the only radiologist on call and you're like down 15, 20 studies and people are calling you. It's like just finding a way to like be empathic towards them as well. And my favorite line in residency was, "I'll read it next." That's it. I probably said it like 700 times. So, but that's also just respecting like, hey, I respect that you want me to read your study, but I will read it next because I'm reading this study, and most radiologists only read one study at a time. So I think empathy for me is important because like it helps you keep a level head, and then it helps you get your work done so you can like stay disciplined and you can continue your learning and be flexible, because like once you get into the whole hothead mentality, it's downhill. So yeah, just try your best to like just be empathic to like everybody if you can. Yeah. What would you guys say? I mean, you guys are about to be radiologists. What would you guys say?
I'm gonna borrow something that Julia said earlier about discipline and time management. And,
Mhm.
you want to get through all these studies, and you have to have like a strategy for it. You have to be like, okay, I'm doing like things in a certain pace, in a certain way.
Yeah. And that's what the training's for. The training is to increase your, your pace and increase your like you're trying to get better every day. That's the whole point. So, and if you miss, you miss. It's okay.
Knowing how to deal with that too.
Yeah.
When you've been on call all night, you're sleep deprived, and the next morning you get an email that you made a tiny sliver of a pneumothorax. I think I might have mentioned that before. I remember being devastated. I'm like, this means nothing
Yeah.
clinically, but I'm
Yeah, yeah.
upset because you saw it and I didn't.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you can try and quiet your ego a little bit.
Yeah.
when
No, that
you-
makes
when
sense.
you're learning.
That's real. That happens. That continuously happens. So that makes sense. That's a great question, though. It's a great question. Any other questions from our audience? Yes. So, what is something about the field that we want improved? What would you say?
I would like more diversity within the field.
Mhm.
And I think that's first and foremost. I would like, and that's not just diversity in ethnicity. I want diversity in thought, in ways, the way that we think, the way that we approach problems, the way that we approach someone who might make a mistake. To take the malignancy out of the culture as much as we can, but still have that intensity so that we, perform at our best. I think finding that balance, I think, would be wonderful. But, a lot of the reason why Saad and I do this is because we want to put a face and a name and a personality with some of those that maybe you don't see in radiology. We want more people to feel okay to go into this field or feel like they could be accepted in this field. So
Yes.
that's what I want to see.
Exactly. And be themselves. We don't want people to like be comfortable being themselves doing this. Because like if you're comfortable, then it'll make you the best, physician that you can be. And I agree. I mean, like you don't need someone like yelling at you to like do better. Like you're already in medical school. You're already like a motivated person. Like you're already someone who's like going to be successful. Like you just need like comfort and some guidance and some like scaffolding, I guess. Just to help you, through the process. So like yeah, I mean the more that we can, get rid of the malignancy, the better. Because I mean like people they want to learn. Like you wouldn't be here if you didn't want to learn. You're not going to be out here looking for shortcuts. Like you already made it this far. Like the shortcut people already dropped off the train. They're already gone. So I agree with you 100%. 100%. So what'd you guys say?
Well, I had a thought. What I enjoyed during my interview trail was how the radiologists want to be called by their first name. And I thought that was a nice step in kind of flattening the hierarchy in medicine.
Absolutely.
So that was something that I appreciated.
That's good that you noticed that. That's major.
That was the culture at Mayo. Everyone went by first name. So
Mhm.
when I got to fellowship, and I didn't say, "Oh, I'm Dr. Hop," this is what are you doing? A lot of people would ask you, "What are you doing?" I think I slipped back and told this is Dr. Howard at Kaiser, but I think not long after you talked to me, I hope that you feel relaxed enough to ask me the question that you want the answer.
Right. Did you guys wear short coats at Mayo?
We wore suits every day.
Really? That's amazing.
Shirts and ties and sports coat every day, man.
That's really cool.
It was interesting, but great place.
Oh no. I mean, I'm just saying. Like, I feel like there's certain things that like they like at the Cleveland Clinic. Like when I was in Cleveland, they would make every doctor wear a short coat because you're like always learning, which I thought was corny at the time. But then I get it. Like it's they're trying to normalize it. Like we're not the only silly people. Like everyone's silly. They all have short coats. So it's like. But congratulations on getting your long coats, though. Yeah. What else? So what would you say?
I kind of wish there was more education in the I mean,
major.
Other times, even after matching, it's like an aunt will like call me like, oh, so what are you doing again?
Yes.
And you have to explain it all over.
Taking x-rays, that's what you're doing.
Yeah, especially when it comes to interventional too. It's like,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, you gotta get used to that. It doesn't get, I mean, you have to explain things multiple times.
Yeah, that's true.
But that would be nice if they actually knew what we did.
Very true, very true. Dr. Julius, what would you say?
I mean, I would kind of have to piggyback off of what Travis said, diversity. And I guess, like, I'd also have to back up because that is one of the things that I was looking for in a potential, or that I prioritize when making my rank list too. So programs that, you know, that were more diverse, you know, with race, gender, those were the ones that also went to the top. So, yeah, I think, you know, diversity is something that I'd like to see improve.
Yeah. And that kind of goes with the whole, like, reducing malignancy and reducing, like, bias. I mean, that'll eventually happen because, like, you know, like, there are, you know, talented people in every race, every culture. You know, they just need the opportunities to make it. So, you know, hopefully as these barriers kind of come down, you know, the more likely that, you know, we'll be able to see, like, this diversity. It will take time, but, you know, you guys are doing it. You guys are making it happen, so.
Yeah, I will say too that I remember during my fellowship that there was a rotation where residents could actually sit with patients and go over their imaging with them. And I find to this day, when you talk to a patient about what you're going to biopsy, what you're going to do, and you show them the imaging, it's like light bulbs go off, and they're
Yeah.
just so appreciative. No one ever went over my imaging with me, doc. This is so helpful. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. So I think that'd be nice to add into our model, but I know that's been proposed, and I know it would be difficult. But
It makes sense, though. I mean, they're at home Googling stuff.
oh yeah.
You know, they probably know their anatomy pretty well when they come to see you and, like, come for a biopsy. So that makes sense. That would be great, actually. So, yeah, I like it. Any other questions? Yes. Is there much patient interaction in diagnostic radiology? I would say so. Dr. Ken Harrison's here with us. He knows that we see a fair number of people, you know, like, depending on what you do, you know, like, in our practice, you know, we do a lot of procedures. You know, we do arthrograms, we do lumbar punctures, we do hysterosonograms, sonohistograms. So we do see, like, a fair number of patients. I mean, I will say the nice thing about radiology is, like, if you wanted to not see patients, you could definitely get away with not seeing patients. You know, you could definitely just be, like, working all the time and not having to see people. But it's like anything in medicine. You can kind of make the job whatever you want it. You know, like, if you want to see more patients and you want to be able to do procedures, you can. You don't necessarily have to be an interventional radiologist, but you can, you know, as many procedures you can do, you know, especially if, like, you're a mammographer. You know, you're going to be talking to patients on the diagnostic board, doing biopsies. You know, like, nuclear medicine, you know, like, you could, you know, be given, you know, thyroid medication therapies. So, like, there's a lot of options in radiology. So, and that's a nice thing. It's a wide field. Like, once you choose it, it's like there's just a lot to do in it. So many, many options inside. So you can if you want. Yeah. Anyone else? Well, we appreciate you guys doing this with us, and let us get you on wax. Congratulations on matching. So we're going University of Washington, Grey's Anatomy, Maryland, Terrapins, and UPMC, Steelers. I love it. Browns fans not happy. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Well, thank you guys so much for letting us be here. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Until next time, stay low, keep firing.